This video will be short. So this is talking about a hook. I'm going to add a little bit here that I didn't in the last where I introduced the hook. So like I said before, a hook should be specific, right? You don't catch a fish with a dull hook. So I'm not saying your hooks are dull, but some of them in the first draft are a little more general than they could be. So if we notice here, this author shifts from the pronoun we to, in the third sentence, I. I is much more of a hook. It's just more specific, right? You don't have to get on an emotional level. This student does. If you want to share that, that's great, but you don't have to. But you can still give details about yourself or about a person that you're using as a hook. Honestly, I think it's better to use yourself as a hook if you're going to have a hook. And just to be clear, you don't need a hook. You can start right in the summary. But a hook does kind of lead the reader a little bit. So, and it's good to practice hooks also. So if you have time, try and have a hook, but you really don't need to, honestly. So what I missed, what I didn't say in the last section is that if you have a hook, have it for a reason. So this author has the hook here, and the author does talk about themselves throughout this essay, but not quite about the same thing. It gets fairly emotional here, and this is a good hook. It interests me. But then the author doesn't really bring it up anywhere else in the essay, so it's kind of forgotten by the end. So when I read it a second time, I think, why did they say this? Right? And then it's up to me to explain why to myself. So a good place to finish your hook and to give your essay a feeling of completion is in the conclusion. So this author doesn't do that. So you notice they have why. They're talking about speaking English at work, self-talking in front of a mirror, right? That's a great detail. This is a good hook, but we don't come up with that hardship in the rest of the essay. You can touch on those ideas in the body paragraphs, but it's also a great idea to finish it in the hook. And so you'll notice here we have a overall evaluation of Goggins, and then we have, look at this, our, we. There's nothing specific about this author here. So that great hook, it just kind of disappears in terms of the essay. By the time we get to the end, we're not talking about I. But remember, it's your response. So if you have a hook, the conclusion is a very good spot to wrap it back together and finish your hook. And that can provide a nice conclusion too. Okay, that one was quick.